Check the money. The same people, now when John Buhari was sworn in, the same people said Jonathan did not say. You see, that is why I said most of our problem as a nation is the Nigerian constitution, because the constitution did not even, there is nothing like savings in the Nigerian constitution. Finally, let me just stop here and I will wait for Mustafa's question. Thank you.
All right, thank you very much. Fugazi, you have 3 minutes.
All right. Good morning, guys. Good morning, because I'm in Nigeria. So I've been listening for a while, and I just have some, I've been having some musings. So, first of all, I think that I totally agree that both parties are two sides of the coin. And I'll just pick on some of the things that have been said. Maybe some of the things from the last speaker. So he says, Occupy Nigeria was not this, was not that. The day Occupy Nigeria protest ended was because at the, was it Ganifa Remy Park now? I can't remember the location. People got there in the morning and met police after a purported exchange of whatever it was between the labor unions and the presidency. So let's not come here and twist history. The APC did the same thing in a different manner with the NSAS protest, of which I was a part of. I was in front. So I think that the fundamental thing that Don Santos has skipped is that, and I appreciate what he's doing, right? He's trying to explain the specific differences between both parties. And that makes sense, right? In terms of how, PDP is more free market oriented, capitalist, APC is, socially. I agree. But the impact of these actions, the impact of these policies on Nigeria as a country and on Nigerians is the same. So don't get it, don't misunderstand it. The woman who is selling agbado, which is a very popular term in Nigeria now, on the street corner, doesn't understand what capitalism is or socialism or, she just wants to see her government working for her, or at the very least for her kids who are in some public school somewhere, right? She doesn't care about how it's done. I don't know if you get it. And you see, the poverty statistics in Nigeria suggest to me that there are more people like that who are yearning for government work than for people like us who are privileged enough to have the kind of education we have, for us to be blowing all this English on Twitter space, right? And be understanding all of these policies. So you have to get it clear. What you're explaining is correct, right? But the impact of PDP 16 years on Nigeria and APC 8 years on Nigeria is suffering and more suffering. Simple as ABC. All this is just dancing around the point. Now, secondly, I wanted to ask Uncle Wisdom a question. He was responding to a question I was asked before. I think he's dropped now, unfortunately, where he was saying Peter Obi, that anybody who says Peter Obi is also from the PDP is being disingenuous. And he said, and this was why I requested the mic, he said that he was going to explain how he's not. But he didn't. How does anybody explain to me that Peter Obi is not... I mean, he came from the PDP. He was an honorary advisor to a former PDP president. He was appointed chairman of SEC by a PDP president. He was a governor for 2 years, for 2 terms, apologies. Right? And...
Can I explain to you there? He was a governor for 2 terms under ABGA, not PDP.
Yeah, so fair enough, right? And if we want to go into the intricacies, right, then it becomes more interesting because the party structure system in Nigeria is so intertwined. And we can all admit that ABGA in Anambra State is mostly, majorly because of the whole Ojukwu and everything. But PDP has a very strong foothold in that state. In fact, when Peter Obi was leaving, or when he left, and he had an issue with his successor, Obiano, he decamped to the PDP and actively, publicly sponsored a PDP governorship candidate, the secretary to the state government when he was governor, Oseloka Obaze. He was publicly trading words with Obiano whilst he was in PDP. In fact, Ifeanyi Ubah, during the primaries for that governorship seat, publicly accused Peter Obi of inventing a fake delegate list that produced Obaze, who was Obi's candidate. So I'm not here to accuse Obi of anything, right? Like I don't the other candidates. I just think that all these guys are politicians and they will do what they have to do to win, right? But I honestly don't subscribe to the whitewashing. He's a good guy. I think he's the best candidate of the three. But I don't think that we have to go to the level of whitewashing him. He was part of it, right? Maybe he's a lot more sound. Maybe he's going to be a better choice for the country. I don't know, right? But I don't think anybody can really wash him off the PDP. Nobody can. Thirdly and finally, somebody was saying something about how parties in how I think it was Uncle Wisdom too that we can vote for apologies that we can vote for people and not just parties. And look, parties are very big all over the world, and people vote for parties. In the United States, when Donald Trump became president, a lot of people always seem to forget that Hillary Clinton won the popular vote, even though a lot of Americans haven't viewed her history, haven't gauged, some of the scandals that trailed the pre-election period, and all of the things that were said about her.
Bro, can I ask you a question, please, real quick?
All right.
In America, you just use an example. Now, can you name? Just give me 5 politicians, 5 Democrats in the past 10 years that moved from Democrats to Republican. Just 5.
So that's a very irrelevant question, and I'll tell you why. I don't mean that to be condescending. The political system in the United States is way different from Nigeria. In fact, I use that example very loosely. I always tell people, when people say, oh, Donald Trump, blah, 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 so Peter Obi, blah, 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 I always tell them that the political system in the United States is you have to add a lot of context, right? So the campaign or what have you, I don't think is really the conversation. It is about the attitude of the electorate towards the party system. That's what I'm saying. So there are people who are allied with maybe PDP, for instance. PDP, I think, are the only parties, they're the only party who still remain what they were in 1999 when we came into
Can I ask a question, please? In America, are there only 2 parties in America?
Of course, there are a lot of parties. In fact, many of them got votes.
Okay, good. They are not. Is there any state, any senator, any House of Rep member that you know in America that is not a Democrat or a Republican?
No, I don't think there's anyone that is not.
There is not. So you see that.
I'm not sure, but I don't think so.
There is none.
Okay.
Of a certain, I'm sure there is none. So you see that using the American political system, the 2-party system in America, bringing it down to Nigeria are not the same. Then we in Nigeria, we don't have ideology in the parties. Today you're in PDP, tomorrow you can be in APC. All you just need to do is just tail your card. In fact, look at there's an Amadu Garba that just left APC 3 days ago and came back the next day. That's Nigeria. Okay, so yeah, bro. So I'm not trying to make you understand that our party system in Nigeria is not.
I get your point. I get your point. I get your point.
It's just a vehicle.
So that I don't take too much time, and other people can speak, right? You see, the similarity might not be in the specifics. Again, like the point I made to Dos Santos. So with the American party system, I'm not in America, so I can't say for sure. But from my learnings, I like to assume that it's more about ideology, more about their way of life, how they see policies, and that's what creates the difference. Now in Nigeria, you can draw the similarity. The difference is in the interest that binds them. So you can say maybe the Democrats, for instance, or let's say the Republicans, for instance, they're conservatives, right? So people who lean towards that kind of ideology will most likely become Republicans. In Nigeria, it could be maybe there's a party who shares money, or there's a party who does primaries to pick candidates, and there's a party who anoints people to pick candidates. That could be the reason why somebody's aligned with a particular party and it sticks with them, come what may. The way a Republican will for the ideologies and policy limits. Do you understand? So you can juxtapose the attitude of the electorate, not in the specifics of why they are allied, but in the psychological behavior. I don't know if you get my point. So I'm not trying to say that our political system is exactly or similar to that of the United States. I'm talking about the human behavior to politics. And that is what we see a lot in Nigeria. A lot. Finally, the Labour Party have not had their chance in the sun. I mean, maybe they will get their chance next year in the coming elections, and they will be able to gauge them. My personal opinion is that they haven't done anything to suggest that they are different either. Even though I agree that APC and PDP, like I said earlier, have just spent the last 30-something years keeping us in suffering. Will the Labour Party be different? We don't know for sure. The Labour Party is comprising a lot of people who are in the PDP. The governmental candidate of the Labour Party in Lagos contested his last election in the PDP, same party that were criticizing. The presidential candidate was in the PDP. He was a vice presidential candidate. In the last election, the DG of the campaign, Doyo Kupe, was in the last PDP administration. The vice presidential candidate of the Labour Party. I can go on and on. He was sacked by the court for rigging the vice presidential candidate. So honestly, let's just agree that our political space is a mess. Let's agree. I don't think that we start saying that whitewashing anybody. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you very much, my brother. Omar, you want to say something or let me go?
No, you go on.
Okay, so as I always say, and as everybody has been coming up to say, I don't know people that are bringing up the notion that Peter Obi or Labour Party is a saint. Nobody, we're not saying he's a saint. You cannot come out and say there's nobody in politics.
You are not saying Saddam. A lot of people are saying.
No. What I'm saying right now is that I can understand where they are coming from. Peter Obi is a saint compared to Tinubu and Atiku. He's a holy saint. In fact, I have to add holy behind him. His sainthood to an Atiku or a Tinubu. That is a fact. If we want to tell ourselves the truth, he's a holy saint compared to these two men. So if Nigerians are coming out to say, right now you come out and you point, if you want to talk about Peter Obi, you say he was in PDP. You wouldn't even say he never contested on a PDP. He never won any election, any post on a PDP. He was appointed under Jonathan. He was second under Jonathan a few months before Jonathan left. You cannot come out and say Peter Obi was in PDP. He did anything with PDP than losing the election with Atiku. Unlike other people that you can say they are PDP, Atiku has tested PDP, you don't work, you don't go APC, you don't work, you don't cover PDP. You understand? So when people are coming out, we're not talking about his cases now, his cases of fraud, he has a whole lot of baggages coming with him. Same can be pointed to Tinubu. Are we going to go about his first 20 years and say his first 20 years, we don't know his first? Nobody can come out and say, I was Tinubu's primary school mate or his secondary school mate. Nobody can come out and say, his life started from when he went to Chicago University. Is it his drug dealing cases? Is it the fact that you cannot point out to one business now and say Tinubu owns this business, but we all know he owns Lagos? Is it the fact that we can point out that his children, his two daughters own mansions worth millions in New York? They just finished school and bought those mansions. These are cases. These are things that you cannot point to a Peter and say this is what Peter did. Peter is a businessman that you can go and trace his history right from when he was in London. So you understand, Fugazi, when people call him a saint, I'm not saying he's a saint. If you bring on, you don't need a microscope to see that Peter has his flaws. He's a human being like everybody, like me and you. All have flaws. But when we put them on a metric, on a scale, to scale him with these men, no, Peter is a saint to these men. So if you understand when they say these things, you understand that it is not out of any, they are not saying it out of the fact that he is a holy man or no. But he is 100% a saint when you bring him near Tinubu or Atiku. Hopefully, I hope you understand why people say such things. Thank you very much, Abraham. So let's move on real quick.
Madam, if I can just, I think I came up because I wanted to respond to Mr. Fukazi.
Please, obviously, just give in 2 minutes, please just do that, please.
Okay. I'm
2
here,
minutes.
Mark.
2 minutes.
Mark, I'm here.
Mark, say what you want to say. Fugazi is here with us.
Okay, sorry. I thought you were telling me to wait for 2 minutes. My apologies. So, Mr. Fukazi, I like your analysis, basically. I like when people appear to be somewhat objective. In many ways, I could say that you have more of a very close, it's close to an objective analysis. I think the only issue that I've got is the fact that I think that in order to justify your theory that Peter Obi is not different from the other lots, I think that you sort of overstretch your analysis. And I feel that, in fairness to Peter Obi, I feel that that's not really good. Because first thing first, when it comes to active role in politics, especially elective positions and in Nigeria, the only thing that Peter Obi has done has been under APGA. Yes, he left APGA and he came to PDP, and at some point was appointed by, was one mate to Atiku Abubakar, but he didn't do anything. That didn't come to fruition, so he didn't do anything. So I'm not sure he should be, our analysis of his personality and the sort of campaign that he's running should be based on that fact. Now, another thing in doing that, another problem that we have in doing that is that we are trying to say that every politician that is either in the PDP or in the APC is a bad politician. I do not subscribe to that theory. I believe that there's still pockets of good guys. But as bad as the APC is, I believe there are still some good eggs in the APC. Professor Osibanjo, for instance, is not really bad the way he appears to be. It's just that he's in a party where the people don't have concern for Nigerians. They're only about getting power and lying to Nigerians. So when you find yourself in that hole, it's difficult for you to, come out with your A games. With your A game. And I think that even in the APC, we have several people like Professor Sibanjo that are there that are really good. The same thing applied to the PDP. Peter Obi's running mate, for instance, is a very brilliant chap. I've read about him, I've researched him. He's a very brilliant chap and very good. And his theory on inflated government contract, he's the only person in Nigerian politics, I stand to be corrected, is the only person in Nigerian politics that has been able to articulate with precision and with clear evidence an holistic way of solving the problem of stealing within the government. One of those ways is the inflated government contract. Peter Obi has articulated the other one, which will be cutting cost of governance. So these guys they came out from the system. So my argument has always been that we should look at now. This is where personalities are very important. That's why I feel that a lot of people going for Peter Obi are looking at the personalities, because at the end of the day, we're not expecting saints from heaven to come and lead us. We need people within Nigeria, people that are Nigerians, and these people are either they are in most cases embedded in this system, but the bad eggs have taken over the system, so it's difficult to identify them. So when we see them, it's good for us to point out that, you know what, this one is good. We can create a different platform and let them strive. And you could see the fact that from when he left the PDP, more Nigerians started going towards him because of the distrust in the two political parties. So I just want to bring that fact out.
Thank you, my brother. Thank you.
Adam, can you give me 30 seconds? I'm not fighting.
I'm not. Go on.
Max, thank you very much for your comments. Two things quickly. The first thing is that the topic of the space is not Tinubu and Atiku, two sides of the coin. It's APC and PDP. So if there's a problem with the lumping up together of all the politicians in both parties, I am not the one who has created that, right? And I agree with you that yes, there are people who we cannot just generalize and say everybody is bad. We have to assume that out of that sample size, there have to be some people who still have, some good intentions. Now, secondly, finally, just a few seconds. I have been on the sidelines of watching politics happen, where it is happening, like at the center of it, in Ondo State. I've witnessed it for 2 election cycles. And I'll tell you for free, you do not have to hold a political office in a political party for you to be a proper politician in that party. Let's not reduce politics to just mathematics. That he didn't hold this position, he didn't elect this position. No, Peter Obi was in the party, and again we have agreed that there's a high chance he's a good person, right? We're not generalizing, but he was in the party, and he spearheaded PDP's attack to remove Obiano when he was contesting for second term in Anambra. He was in the party, big enough, respectable enough to be chosen as a vice presidential candidate. That's not a joke. So let's not reduce Peter Obi in PDP to he didn't hold any political office. I will not take that. I'm happy to accept that he's a good man. I am happy to accept that, on a personal note, he has good intentions and he was a good governor. I'm happy to accept that. But again, I've witnessed politics. Let's not reduce it to, this person didn't hold office. Plenty party leaders in plenty wards and constituencies are not the people who are holding the House of Rep or House of Assembly position. So I just think I needed to point that out. But thank you very much, Max, for your comments on my take. Thank you.
Thank you, Fugazi. Fugazi, in other words, can I change the topic to Tinubu and Atiku?
Is your space? No, is your space, Adam?
Will you be no, my brother, I'm just asking. Will you be okay?
No, now Max is supposed to ask now, not be me.
No, you now, what you?
See, make I tell you, Saddam, since I was in front of Alausa on the 8th of October 2020, and the Commissioner of Police brought cocked guns to my face, and I showed my ID card as a journalist, and I was harassed publicly, right? I was one of the 43 who slept in front of the House of Assembly that day. I have absolutely no regard for all these. So if you like lump them up, I honestly don't give a shit. If you like separate their names, I don't give a shit.
Please,
so it's Max that you should be asking.
Follow me back and follow you now, please. Nice one. Thank you very much. Let us move on real quick. Please, if you want to speak, your hands should be up. Or if not, we'll drop you real quick. That's simple.
Yeah. Hello. Mustafa, other speakers. If I have,
please, can I just give big props to Fugazi? I really like your views. I enjoyed listening to you. Yeah, nice one.
Yeah. Hello, Sadam. Dada, you can drop me back. So I just wanted to ask Fugazi the question.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, thanks for the engagement.
Joel the Obedient, please. 3 minutes. Then Mustafa, you go next. Sorry, we have a beautiful lady up here. Joel the Obedient, just 3 minutes. Then Olachi, then Mustafa.
I'm going to start with something a bit sensitive to explain the PDP APC. So I think Dos Santos was the person talking about PDP APC, comparing what PDP has done. I'm not sure, but if it's him. PDP and APC is like uncles that paid for you through your school, and raped you. PDP, sorry to say, raped us via the vagina. APC is raping us via our anus. And Dos Santos, what you are saying now is you are trying to tell us that at least PDP did normal penetration. APC, see what APC did. That's just comparison. PDP came to Nigeria the best time possible, moving from military to to democracy, every little thing you do will count. That's why you see that a lot of the state governors that were first-time governors did very, even if they didn't do well, they were praised. Even my governor, the Bori that was a thief, was still praised. Because as at that time, there was no bar. The bar was not really anywhere. That's why bringing telecommunications was something that seemed so beautiful. APC has come and done his own. It's unfortunate that these same people, these two parties came up again for this election that seems to be where makes or mar Nigeria. Buhari there was no bar before. Maybe Obasanjo raised the bar a bit. Yaradua pitched it up a bit. Jonathan brought it down. Buhari came, dug a hole and put the bar underground. Now, all PDP and APC needed to do was to listen to the people that they were representing, or they are supposed to be representing. The APC, even APC supporters knew that they wanted somebody that Nigerians just wanted something different from the old block of politicians. You already had Yossi Banjo, poster boy, a Southerner, a pastor. Even if we still did, some of us would still not have voted for him, it would have been a good push. They went against what their party members, the majority of the party members probably wanted, and chose what's his name, Tinubu, because it was his turn. That wasn't enough. Muslim ticket came up again. It's a problem. Nigeria already has that problem. Southern Muslim is a minority. The Northern Christian is a minority. Bring two minorities, you have a powerful candidate already. Try and bring a Northern Muslim. Push him. He still said no. And you forget that a party is not just built on one person. They left the decision of the whole party. People that have been building this party together, and a lot of Northern Christians have been hoping for one day. Christians have been hoping that one day a Southern Christian and Muslim will come up and they will get power. At least vice presidency. That was scrapped. There is no Northern Christian hardly has a chance to run for presidency. Neither does a Southern Muslim. But you already have a strong candidate. That would have even broken that tie. They left it and said we're looking for somebody that will help them stabilize the North. And they brought in Shetima. PDP, on the other hand, PDP calls its candidate a unifier. This unifier has always, from 1993 to date, has always fought for two things to happen in Nigerian presidency. 1993, he voted for the presidency. He either wants a Northern president or a Muslim president. The only time he never did it was when it was handed over to him. He was called from Jigawa after I won from Adamawa after I won his governorship. And 2007, he was already at loggerhead with his 2003. He was already at loggerhead with his Oga. 2007, he ran for presidency. That being, okay, it's a turn for it to go to the North, and he was the vice president. It was easy for him. 2015, he joined, I think that was the ACN, if I'm not mistaken, ran for presidency. And at every time, the only time he did not run for presidency, he supported he supported a Northern Christian, a Northern Muslim, which is still the same thing. And he says it's a unifier. This chance he now had, he has the biggest ticket on the block outside the incumbent, which is the PDP ticket. He had the chance of leaving it for the Southeast to do it. Singularly, Atiku is the reason why it was never microzoned to the Southeast or purely to the South. He now had the chance to even pick it and say, okay, let me pick an Igbo man or a pure Southeasterner, since we know the Yorubas, the Hausa have tasted presidency and vice presidency. Let me give the Igbo man. I'm not Igbo, but I feel they deserve it at least. He still went to pick a Delta Igbo man, people that have denied being Igbo. And he's now saying, I picked an Igbo man as a Delta and a Southerner, and you know that the target is a Southeasterner. Since I don't have time, I won't say much. It's just, they're actually cut from the same cloth, both the candidates and the parties. Thank you.
Thank you very much, my brother. Olachi, please go next.
Hey, Sadam, thank you. Hi, everybody. The last guy that just spoke, be careful the way you throw around that word rape. It hits some people with a different vibe. I'm just going to go ahead and say that.
Apologies.
Not really a very good word to be throwing around. Fugazi, I'm not sure if your name is Fugazi or Fugazi, because I don't know, that just crossed my mind. No, I see your name is Wale, never mind. Right. So just diving into it. First of all, I wanted to talk about that lady who said something about her psychology professor. If there's no power supply, he will let a Nigerian doctor treat him, and if there's power supply, he won't let a Nigerian doctor treat him. Because it's not right to say that kind of thing. I'm sorry, but like, you shouldn't just stay there. Like, don't dignify foreigners to the point where you watch them say things like that. It's pretty prejudiced, and like, don't give people credit for disrespecting you. It does not matter how much in disarray your country is, it is still disrespectful. Some of the best doctors outside of Nigeria are Nigerians. Like, don't give foreigners that kind of what's the word for it? Don't give them that kind of pedestal to the point where you let those kind of things fly. Anyways, on to the topic. I think somebody touched on that. We're talking about the two parties being two sides of the same coin. From my perspective, from the way the space has been going, it's been more like the two candidates. So that's sort of the way I formulated my thoughts. I'm gonna be real quick diving into this. As far as I see it, Atiku is homeless. Like, he will go anywhere to win that office. The way the man is chasing this presidency, it's like there's somebody he's owing Nigeria to, and they've been holding his neck for 3 decades. That's the way I see it. Whereas Tinubu, it's as if we are the ones owing Nigeria to him. Like, Tinubu, he's like, Atiku is homeless. Tinubu is in a burning house, and he's the one pouring petrol around himself every time he talks. And Shetima is adding firewood. That's just all they're doing. That I could go into that bishop thing they did, but that's a conversation for a different day. Like, the people are the coins here. Atiku is two sides of the same coin. Tinubu is a one-sided coin. And Atiku is two sides of the same coin because he has been on both ends, right? Tinubu is just a one-sided coin. If anybody can tell me any genuinely selfless thing Tinubu has done, I will apologize to him for breathing the same air. For breathing the same air as him. Just that. And I'm not saying Atiku is better, but at least we can trace the outline of his wickedness. Tinubu, we can't even trace his origins, not to talk about the outline of Tinubu's wickedness. It doesn't even have outline. The things, encapsulates us the way the ozone layer encapsulates the earth. That is how pungent Tinubu's own level of wickedness is. That is just it. He just wants his Wikipedia page, besides lying about his age, besides that page lying about his age, docking it by a decade, he wants us to just say, Bola Ahmed Tinubu is a former president of Nigeria, blah, blah, blah. That is all that man wants to say. Because, man, it is sweet. It won't say it from my mouth. I'm not Tinubu, but it sounds so sweet. That's all he wants to see. He doesn't even care about himself, because if he cares about himself, he would not be running for this office. Just lastly, the issue of Obi not having any Senate or House of Rep member, like, I've heard it so many times, and given that we know how Nigeria is, how the political sphere is, I'm actually pretty surprised people keep saying that over and over again. Like, we know the way Nigerian politicians are. The campaign is so easy in Nigeria's political sphere. It's like changing your shoes, fam. We all know that once Peter Obi wins, these people will start the campaign like how cockroaches scatter when you turn on the lights. They will go from no member to half of both assemblies in no time. The way they would campaign, man, Peter will not blink twice by the time half the assembly is in Labour Party. Let's watch. So that one is a non-issue. I'm actually done. That one is a non-issue. I'm sorry. I just hear people saying this so many times. I just felt like I just need to remind everybody the country we come from and how these politicians have switched sides so many times. It's a non-issue. Anyways, that's it.
Thank you, Ola. Thank you. This is submission as usual. Mustafa, your hands are not up. Okay, Mustafa, please
3 minutes. Yeah, let's just do in 3 minutes. Thank you.
Okay, so after listening for 4 hours, all I get is 3 minutes anyway. Let me get to the point.
4 minutes.
Would want to start by correcting a misrepresented fact, or was it a slip of tongue by the speaker before Olachi, who was struggling to give the actual parties under which Atiku ran for office. He ran under AC in 2007 and ran under the PDP during the primaries with Jonathan in 2011 and ran under the APC in the primaries with Buhari, Konkoso and co. So yeah, that's that. Then APC and PDP being two sides of the same coin, I believe so. Yeah, that's true. But are they different? Yes, they are different, but they are two sides of the same coin. What do I mean by saying this? I think what shapes the behavior of political parties, I mean the two major political parties in Nigeria so far, is the fortunes of the country as at the time they were leading the country. PDP, for example, in its early days, and at least like someone said, they've been fortunate enough to lead Nigeria just after our return to democracy. And they also led when oil, which is the mainstay of our economy, was still very, very, very pricey. Like it still had some value. So it was being sold, at a very, very high amount of money, and we were making so much money. And also not just that, but we also had this we had our debts forgiven, by most of our most of the people that we owed. So most of the institutions that we owed then had forgiven the debts we were owing. So that made it pretty easy for the PDP, and a lot of institutions had not been established, so it was easy for them to claim those credits, because there they were with a virgin area for them to just record easy achievements, score cheap political points. And APC came when so it's more like adding salt into an open wound, because they came when the country was getting broke. PDP had managed to survive the last tenure of Goodluck Jonathan with some reserves that we had. And then when the APC came, of course, they couldn't stop the mismanagement of funds. They couldn't stop the corruption. And oil was just going down. At some point, it was almost, not having any value at all. So things just became very, very terrible, and they're becoming even more terrible. So what we need now is somebody, or a group of people. I don't like to use the word someone, because that would be like believing that somebody could be a messiah. In Nigeria, you cannot be a messiah. We can only be salvaged by a group of people. And I'm sorry to say this, but it's even in 2023, I am still not seeing that is still not forthcoming. I still can't see a group of people that are coming to really salvage us. So for me, most times what I tend to suggest is that this should be a fight. Maybe this is just the beginning of something that is going to happen, but it might not necessarily happen just as quickly as we want it to happen. Going back to some points made about Labour Party presidential candidate, I think I understand how moderators of this space were trying to say that he is not perfect, but relative to the other candidates he is better. I am sorry to say this, but would that not mean complacency on our side? Because in 2015, one of the reasons why Buhari became president was that first there was this opportunity. In fact, most people would want to attribute APC's coming into power by the feud that started between state governors and the presidency then. Because in 61 of Ngozi Okonjo-Iweala's book, she talked about how there was this argument on whether they should save money or not, and governors were against it, especially Rotimi Amechi and co. Peter Obi was I think the only person perhaps that was supporting that Nigeria should save for the rainy day. So that was where the fight started, and that was what made that whole realignment and alignment. So on this note, I want to remind people that it can be very, very dangerous to be complacent, because like I said, one of the reasons why Buhari came into power was that fight that was happening already. So these politicians were just looking for somebody to use to deceive Nigerian masses and make it look as if they were willing to change the country, but that didn't happen. Secondly, to an extent, Buhari even then, Buhari became even I think he got more like the rebuttals he's getting. They just increased after he became president under democracy. But even when he was serving as military head of state, he had a lot of rebuttals. But this time, I mean, when he came, he was compared to other people that have become president in Nigeria, he was like least corrupt. For example, there are, for example, insinuations that he is the person receiving the least amount of pension from the state coffers, if I'm not mistaken. And then the second thing was that, for example, in 2000, like when he became president, he declared his assets, if I could remember. Like his assets were made public, although it became a controversy in 2019 because he was trying to conceal it. Then they were not trying to be very, very open about it. But in 2015, he declared, right? So all those things are, for me, like I'm trying to remind you that, okay, this guy also came as somebody that was relatively better. And all of a sudden, like things are just messed up. He has given up on the country while he's still serving as president. And people are finding it so difficult in the country. By the way, I am so sorry about the situations that Nigerians are going through. It's very, very terrible. That just reminds me.
Mustafa, I would like to engage you, and let me just engage you briefly because we have less time. I will engage you. Are you aware of Buhari's first time as a military head of state in Nigeria?
I wasn't born then. I only got to read a few things about it, watch a few documentaries, ask a few questions.
Okay, cool. Are you aware that the first time ever Nigeria went into recession was under Buhari as a military head of state?
I can't substantiate that, to be honest.
You can. Okay, yeah. I'm giving you as an assignment now. So I want you to understand. I want you, please. I'm coming. Sorry, please. Sorry. Mute your mic. I want you to understand that antecedents of a person matters a lot. And I'm saying this clearly because I understand this your sentiment now is a sentiment that so many of our northern brothers share. I have a whole lot of northern friends. I grew up in the north. I spent over 19 years of my life in the north. So I have a core northern base of friends that share some sentiments. And the same thing I'm telling you is what I've told so many of them, that please, you can just go and sit down and do your research for yourself. Buhari was sold to us as a messiah. But Buhari had a very, very dirty past. A past that was shredded. Buhari truncated our first ever democracy. He truncated Shagari's regime.
Yeah, I know, but which was very, very...
I'm coming. You respond. I just want to clear you. Please, you respond to me. I just want to clear you. Buhari, first ever recession. Now, go and ask people that lived through Buhari's time. They'll tell you that under Buhari, that was a time that if you go, you cannot buy more than 2 tins of milk. Inflation was high. The economy was in shambles under Buhari in 1984 from when he ruled as a military dictator. So he was repackaged. There was a repackaging that went on. There's a reason why so many people rejected Buhari over the years. People that passed through him, that saw what he did over the years, rejected him. He was even Bola Ahmed Tinubu now. Go and read about Bola Ahmed Tinubu's statements about Buhari prior to 2015. Go and read El Rufai statements about Buhari prior to 2015. These are statements, verifiable statements, that you read about this man called Buhari. He was repackaged by men. Please, who is that? Mute your mic, please. Mute your mic, please. Mute your mic. And Buhari was a bad market repackaged for Nigerians. Our generation did not meet him. But people that read history will tell you that this man, no. People knew about him. But you can go and check the antecedents of Peter Obi. This is a different man that has done it, that has served, that has, both in public and private, and has done well, exceedingly well. You should not compare Peter to a Buhari in any ramification. Please, I say this with all humility, and I want you to carry out your own investigation about what I have said about Buhari now. And you will see that Nigerians were deceived about the true Buhari, and he has showed himself.
Saddam, to your point. To add to your point, I mean, at the conclusion of the Oputa panel, that was set up, the National Reconciliation Panel that was set up, 3 former head of states were mentioned never to be allowed near public office anymore. And General Buhari's name was one of those names. So its antecedents were very much available in public space. Nigerians just chose to ignore the very obvious and probably didn't do enough research and probably fell for the packaging. There are so many.
Let me remind you also again. Buhari served as the PTF boss under Abacha. Under him, $2 billion. $2 billion. Go and check what I'm telling you right now. $2 billion.
2.8 billion.
Thank you.
And Saddam, you know one theory that I've always had.
Got missing.
You know one interesting theory I've always had.
I want to dismantle Buhari. Most of them understand who Buhari was. Buhari is they just painted him. 2.8 billion in the 90s got missing under Buhari as a PTF boss. These are facts. So don't when they come back here and tell you Buhari, no, they sold us a fake change merchant. Understand this, please. Peter Obi is open for you. Go on the internet, do your research for yourself. You will see he has done this repeatedly as a private citizen and as a public citizen. He has succeeded in both ways, and he wants to do it in a larger scale. So you can see that he's not bringing fake promises here. No, please understand this. Thank you very much. If you want to say anything, I give you a minute to say something. Let's move on.
Okay, yeah. First about Nigeria going into its first recession during Buhari's term. I was going to say, but that time you're already talking, and so I'd been interrupted. I couldn't finish. I was going to say that I've heard, but because I haven't really read it, and I usually don't like to make reference to things I haven't read. So because this is a public space. And then number two, oh my God, this point you just made about the money that got missing while he was serving as PTF chair. Would you please do me a favor by sending me the material because I want to engage in very, very, open debates, open conversations. By the way, because I'm an undecided voter, so I don't have this emotional attachment to any candidate, I'm taking my time to go through these candidates and not, be complacent when I am choosing. So if you can do me a favor to send me the link to the materials that, substantiate that fact, please do that. Okay. And then the point I was going to come back to while I was making that point about, because if you do justice to me, you would notice that in my speech I was trying to tell you that Buhari was also someone who was made to look good, and there were a few things that he had done to make it look as if he was going to be a good leader. You get what I'm saying? Now I was going to then pivot to say that I watched an interview where Peter Obi was asked about conflict of interest. Why, for example, he didn't resign some of his positions. I mean, some of the positions he held as director of private businesses when he became governor. Although he gave an excuse that he became governor in a very, very different kind of situation, so he didn't get time to prepare. But there were questions, he was not very, very explicit at saying whether how he went on with some of his positions in these companies. He just said he handed over to his wife, and that is something I didn't understand. Now I'm not trying to be derogatory in any way. I want you to answer that because I'm sorry, right? Just like the way you said, you have a lot of northern friends. That is very much how I have a lot of southern friends. I think I'm probably one of the few people on this space that are, people from the north, right? So I'm this kind of very, very open person who allows, southerners to vent to me, because for me, I am pro understanding and dialogue. And that's where I would really want to engage in conversations like this. I wouldn't mind, for example, reading through facts that you share with me so long as they are substantiated. And I have some questions I wanted to raise because Dos Santos has been raising a lot of points. And I'm sorry to say this, but Dos Santos has made a lot of used a lot of opinion sometimes he was trying to use opinions as facts. And I think I've seen him in one of these spaces in the past where he was doing the same thing. And I feel like he hasn't gotten enough moderation that he was supposed to get. I'm sorry to say this, but because Twitter spaces
is very, very that's why I'm trying to give you the moderation that you should get now. I want to ask you one or two questions. The first is...
Wait, you're going to ask me questions. Would you please allow me? Would you please allow me to raise my questions? I would answer your questions when I'm done asking my own questions.
Yes, you've been speaking for quite a while, so you've raised your question. My questions to you are very straight. I don't ask very complex questions. The first is you mentioned being an undecided voter. I don't know your age, no disrespect. Have you voted before?
Yes, I have.
Oh, okay. In the last elections, in the 2019 elections, who did you vote for?
I voted for Buhari.
Oh. In the 2015 elections, who did you vote for?
That time I couldn't get my voter's card because as at the time I came back to register.
So you did not vote?
I couldn't get my PVC then.
So was that the first time you were voting in 2019?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. And having seen 4 years of Buhari, you chose to give him another 4 years. I'm just saying. I mean, having seen it in practicality, this is not like what the person says on paper. This is what you've seen. You experienced the first 4 years of Buhari administration, which included the killing of the Shiites, right? The 300 Shiites that died in Kaduna, which included those killings, which included, I think, our first economic recession at that point too. You saw all of that, and then when you had the chance to vote in 2019, you voted for Buhari again, despite the fact that Atiku Abubakar, another northerner, who, I mean, technically might be supposedly better than Buhari, was also on the ballot. Right?
Can I respond?
No, I'm asking a question.
Okay, but this last
you
thing
voted for him in 2019, having experienced the first 4 years, right or wrong?
I am sorry. I have told you that I voted for him, and you just said something that I wanted to correct you on. You said despite that there was a northerner on the ticket, why should you try to persuade me to vote for someone on ethnic lines?
Is that persuading you? You're twisting my words. I am not persuading you in any way.
No.
I'm just saying, slow down. We're having a conversation. You responded. Can I respond? You mentioned, I mentioned that simply because Nigerian politics, as much as we might want to hide under certain, lines that, okay, let's not go along the lines of ethnicity. We all know that people play the ethnicity card and people vote along ethnic lines. That's understandable. So that was why I mentioned the fact that despite the fact that there were 2 northerners on the ballot, you chose to vote for Buhari, having experienced the first 4 years of his administration, right?
Yeah.
All right. Go on. Now make your point.
Okay, yeah. So what was that in 2019, I was fortunate to be in one of the presidential town halls with Kingsley Moghalu. I personally asked a question to Kingsley Moghalu because at the time Kingsley Moghalu had come and he was saying a few things that interested me, and so I was like, okay, let me just see if there's someone that is very, very, very serious about what he's saying. And I asked him one question, and he gave me an answer that was unsatisfactory. For Atiku and Peter Obi, then I didn't vote for them because I don't trust Atiku. For example, I don't. For me, I believe that one of the problems that we have in Nigeria is corruption, and this corruption is measured in terms of how people would just come into public office and all of a sudden they are so rich. I just can't justify how somebody would have only served in government and be so rich, and so I was very, very skeptical. There was my conscience then, I'm telling you, like, my conscience then wouldn't allow me to vote for Atiku, because even during that presidential town hall, although I didn't attend Atiku's town hall, I could see that he couldn't defend substantially how he was able to make so much money. And by the way,
can you adjust your mic? There's a boom coming from, I don't know why. Does anybody have that problem? Yes, try and adjust your sound. It's a bit, I don't know, there's a problem with it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, anyway, you mentioned your conscience earlier that did not let you vote for Atiku, but your conscience could allow you. You said your conscience did not let you vote for Atiku, but your conscience allowed you to vote for Buhari, having experienced the first 4 years of his administration at close quarters.
Yeah, because, okay, so remember,
very impressive.
In the beginning in 2015, here was someone who had declared his assets. For me, I was pro transparency. You get what I'm saying? And I asked Kingsley Moghalu a question that he couldn't answer. And Atiku had amassed so much money that he couldn't explain. And
okay, so what was the motivation for voting for Buhari in 2015?
You get what I'm saying?
Mustafa, what was the motivation behind voting for Buhari in 2015?
What did you see in him that made you feel
Omar,
like...
let's stop this back and forth. He did not vote in 2015 for
Oh, in 2019 rather, sorry.
That's what I'm telling you. That's what I'm telling you, right? I told you that I personally wanted to, engage the candidates and see what they had.
So you
And
let me ask you, did you succeed in engaging Buhari?
couldn't answer my question. I think how we became so rich. And Peter would be your candidate was there helping Atiku to answer the question.
Mustafa, we would like to move on. The question is, did you engage Buhari?
I didn't, but I was already living in the president.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. We have other speakers. Let's take other speakers. James,
Mustafa, I will follow you. Please follow me back.
Oh, I already sent him a DM actually.
I love conversing with my northern brothers because I believe, especially people like you, I think, as you said, you're undecided. If you're undecided, I believe that P2B is that megaskia that they used to sell to the north about Buhari. The real megaskia is in P2B. That whole image that they clothed Buhari in, the real Buhari, that real image that the north was looking for, he is here now. I can confidently beat my chest and tell you because I have seen him do it both in his public and his private life. He is what Nigeria needs, and he is the person to transform the North and take the North to the position the North really deserves to be. I tell you that the potentials that are in the North are too much. The potentials that are in the North, any sensible president, if the Northerners understand the power that they have, the Northerners will be calling for the country to break up. I'm saying this with all sincerity growing up in the North. The North is more blessed than the South, but they don't know. They're not sitting on a gold mine. You just need someone to open up the eyes of the Northerners to really see what they are missing. And they will understand how powerful the region they are, how rich the region they are, and where they can really get to. So I will follow you up, my brother. Follow me. We're going to see how this discussion, but let's all have other people speak. We're closing up this space. We've been here for over 10 hours now. So please, thank you very much, Mustafa. Let's have James O. Then Sexy, then Dos Santos.
Mustafa, you need to take it easy, bro. Take it easy, for sure. And good space, Saddam, Omar. You guys are doing a great job. Mustafa, I think, I try to go through his own page too. Looks impressive, but I think he's very smart. But people like that will come on spaces like this and try to, do the gaslighting because that's what it is at the end of the day. Because he's not a dumb person, but I guess he has his sentiments. That's why he's here, defending Buhari. Anybody that votes Buhari 2015, 2019, you need some explaining to do, man. If you really did that, Anyways, Mustafa, you're smart, but take it easy. You gotta do better. Don't gaslight nobody here, okay? All right, and I just want to address something. This space is APC and PDP, two sides of the same coin. The whole idea of trying to change it to Atiku and Tinubu was no point. APC and PDP is very good to describe the space, right? So that being said, Fugazi, I hail you. I think this is the second time I'm being with you on the same space, but also, brother, when you came here, you tried to tell us how Peter Obi is almost the same thing as, the guys in the PDP and APC, That's also a little bit of gaslighting because I took 2 points from your conversation, Fugazi, when you said something like Peter Obi tried to change after the first tenure of the previous governor, that's what he did, and you think it's a PDP thing, and also, of course, he got the ticket of the PDP 2019. Yeah, but those two reasons doesn't really make you, put Peter Obi today, in the same boat as the PDP and APC, because for sure, you can tell it's a different material. You can tell it's a different kind of person. So there is no way you can say, PDP and APC, of course, we know they are the same, but then you can't put Peter Obi in the same boat as them. No, he's an amazing person
we've seen it all. We've gone through his records, his incidents from, the 8 years in Anambra State were amazing. Look, today, right now, we have the same thing has been happening. It's not just the APC period. The ASU is on strike today, right? Because they don't really care about education and, the Nigerian citizens. They don't care about them because they take their families abroad for education. But Peter Obi, as the governor of, Anambra State, brought education from 26th to number 1 in the country. So how can you put this kind of people, somebody with his own ideology and his own past records, in the same boat as the PDP and APC? So I'm just going to go to some points that I put together before, because the APC we have today, somebody used a very interesting term when he said APC, the rape from the ass, and PDP rape from the whatever, But then if you look at it, and somebody also asked why the PDP is...
Please, my brother, please, let me cut you short there. Please. I almost called that guy when he said made the analogy. Please, when you guys there are so many analogies to use. Rape is not a word you guys should come.
I know. I'm sorry. I didn't really, like it myself.
Please.
I didn't even want to use it. I just, try to say it. But
find something else to use.
Yeah, I know. Okay. But then, the PDP today, someone said it earlier, they are the worst opposition ever. Of course, they should be, because if not for the PDP in the person of Atiku and Saraki, that left the 2015 election to support APC won't be in power today. When they left PDP, they were against Jonathan trying to continue as a president. They all moved from the PDP to the APC. And that's the only way the APC got into power. So if you look at it at the end of the day, even the chairman of APC today was in the PDP before. A lot of people in the APC today, they were in the PDP before. So why is anybody arguing that, PDP is almost, Peter Obi is the same thing because it was in the PDP? We all knew he had to leave. And thank God he left. And finally, I'm going to say this, Saddam, I appreciate what you do, but what's going on? Because we need to work on the campaign. What's about the obedient TV? What's going on with that? Because we don't need all the distractions in the world. We need to work with Peter Obi to make it 2023. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Please, where are you? Where are you speaking from?
Yeah, I'm in Canada. I'm just, I'm very, interested in this. I follow it up every day. I listen to everybody. I try to contribute my little bit, but yeah, I'm in Canada right now.
I believe you are in Canada. I believe you have people back home.
Of course, I do. I communicate with them.
Your influence on your people back home to get their PVCs registered and fall in line is what you can do right now. We have so many support groups. You should join one. That's what we diaspora should be doing. Join support groups. They have a whole lot of project going on the grassroots. As we are speaking, almost every day we have town hall meetings happening everywhere around Nigeria. Yeah. So find one, join one, support as you can support. The best you can do is to send them money.
I know.
So send them money, and they send them some Canadian dollars.
Of course. I'm from Delta State. I'm Orogo, by the way. But I want you to know that if you look at Delta and Edo today, they are the most... I'm an Obi supporter, but people say obedient, but they are one of the most obedient. Delta State and Edo State today. I don't know other states, from the southeast, they have to, continue to work. Because Delta, Edo, we know they are for Obi that is 2023. So that's what it is,
Every state will fall in line before 2023.
I hope so, man, because Nigeria has to be rescued from these, crazy criminals. They don't want to let the country go. Nigeria has to be rescued.
Thank you very much, my brother. Thank you very much.
Saddam, can we take Dos Santos? He's had his hands up for a while.
Yeah, Dos Santos. I won't make your hand pin and face.
He's probably going to start fire.
Sorry, Saddam. Sorry, I came in like this. James Ovey, please kindly, I followed you. Please follow me back so that we can
no problem.
Network, and we have a lot of things going on the ground. I wish Umar was here. I would have asked you to follow him also. We have a lot of work going on the ground, and if you want to be part of I can send you some support groups. Okay, thank you very much.
No problem.
All right, Dos Santos, take 3 minutes and set everything on fire again.
No, I'm not going to set anything on fire. You know, there are a lot of
that.
No, there are a lot of things people said, and I jot everything down because I don't know if you give me enough time to address them. You know, and
3 minutes. I'll time you.
Whoa! It will be too short for me. But let's see. Mustafa said Atiku served in government and become so rich. And he said Peter will be helping Atiku to answer question. That is a lie. But you have forgotten that Osinbajo was helping Buhari to answer question when Khadija Ahmed was asking her, was asking Buhari question. He doesn't even know the meaning of livestock, you know. I believe you watched the video. Now let me tell you how Atiku made his money, you know, serving government and become so rich. Now, it is very lawful for every public officer to purchase shares. Okay, during the military era then, there was indigenization decree, which was passed by the then military government, which allows public officers to legitimately acquire shares in their attempts to indigenize most of the companies that were operating at that time. So Atiku just had that opportunity to buy shares. That's how he started his business. Okay. I just want to put it out there. Now, someone said people voted against Atiku in 20. Okay, let me say this again. Saddam, when I love the question that Omar asked, you know, but one thing I know is that a lot of people in the north, they don't like Atiku because of his stance about Sharia. Okay, because of his stance, mostly because of his stance about Sharia. Okay, that's
please,
one.
No, Dos Santos, please.
Okay, sir, yeah, fine. It's fine.
Let me say something. No, you continue. Just hold up your thoughts. Okay. I grew up in the north, and I will tell you for a fact. I'm not saying this, I will tell you for a fact. Please mute your mic, please. Don't be Dos Santos, please. Thank you. I will tell you for the fact that 80% of northern Nigeria, I'm not trying to make it 90 or 95. 80% of northern Nigeria are average people that don't have a problem, that are not wealth attractive. They don't care about your wealth. They are not money conscious. They just want to wake up in the morning, say their prayers, have a normal life. They don't care. They don't care about what you are bothered about. That is the average northerner. So when they see they hate corruption. They hate corruption. That is the fact of the average northerner. Your view of corruption may be different, but you see this fact that Sharia, it's a lie. That's a lie that I've been telling people that because Atiku will never tell you he hates Sharia, please, or that he's against Sharia. He's a Muslim. Please, don't say that. They don't like Atiku because Atiku is tainted. They know he's tainted. His image is tainted with fraud. Probably it is false allegation. But there's this stereotype already that is with Adane Atiku in the north, that Atiku is a criminal. Mustafa, am I lying? Mustafa, are you there?
I think it's quite true.
Thank you. So Dos Santos, continue.
Anyways, it's fine. Why you will say it's quite true. So for someone that is
5 seconds left.
And Saddam was using my time. Anyways,
yes, no, I have to post your time.
Yeah. Okay, it's no problem. I'm not surprised that Mustafa will always say it. After Atiku has said it severally, if you have any evidence, go to court. He has said that severally. Okay. Now, I want to say something. That's why most people they seem liberal Muslim. I want to say this. Someone was talking about the economy of the PDP government, you know, and he was saying that what did he say? He said PDP came in the best time. That is 1999. But he has forgotten that Obasanjo met oil price then $17 and left it at $60. Okay. Then he inherited $30 billion as our external debt. He cleared $18 billion, paid $12 billion, then left $3 billion as at 2027. Okay, you can go and check our debts that we are having. As at I put something on the Jumbotron, as at when Jonathan left office, our debt was 12 trillion. Then as at 2021, it was, I think, 26 trillion. Okay, so that's it. Now, when people said Jonathan did not do an economy, I laughed because for the first time we had we organized World Economic Forum in Nigeria. According to CNN Money, I posted it on the Jumbotron. CNN Money projected Nigeria to be the third fastest fastest growing economy in the world. It was an estimate, Then top 10 countries to invest in Africa as at 2024, Nigeria was second. I believe you guys must have seen the flyer when Peter Obi went to Egypt. There was a post that you guys were posting then, top 10, 2014, Nigeria was second. 2021, Nigeria was not even top 10. Now, someone was talking about, I think Fugazi was talking about Peter Obi, all this kind of thing, that he was part of PDP. Yes, he was part of PDP. That was why he was named there. He was part of the economic team, chairman of SEC, and he was the leader of the PDP structure in Anambra State. He made Valeta Ozigo Osalike Obazi to be the gubernatorial candidate of the party. Then, as I speak to you, the current national auditor of the PDP was made. In fact, he got that position because of Peter Obi. Peter Obi made sure that man became the national auditor of the PDP. As I speak to you now, Saddam, you asked a question about defection in America and Nigeria. Let me say this. I'll keep saying this. Nigeria Constitution is our problem. That is it. It can make a competent man to become Okay. The Constitution of Nigeria can make a competent man to become a national failure. According to Senator Adeyeye, he said the Constitution of Nigeria cannot give us peace, cannot give us unity and progress. According to Dele Farotimi, he said personnel changes cannot make us to have the kind of structure we have. Now, in America, they wrote their constitution in 1787, ratified it in 1788, and in operations in 1789. Guess what? America have amended their constitution 27 times. You can imagine. But Nigeria, how many times? I think 3 times. Okay? This is why I keep saying the constitution is our problem. In Nigeria, we have a situation whereby they said the land in your state belongs to the state government, but the resources in the state belongs to the federal government. But in most countries, it's not like that. I posted about the sharing formula of Nigeria. Federal government 52%, state 26%, local government 20%. But in most developed countries of the world, federal government received the least. Federal government received the least. What's it called? Federal government received the least sharing formula. Then state received more, and local government, I think, is the second. Okay. Now, I want to say this. In most developed countries in the world, I believe James is from Canada. You have the federal government control military, defense and intelligence, immigration, custom, border protection, monetary policy, foreign policy, federal police, public health, national revenue. While states control VAT, state police or community police, business registration, ID card, driving license, education. They give license to education. James can bear me witness in Canada. Then they control their resources. But in Nigeria, these 2 things that I mentioned, these 2 groups, both state and federal, is controlled by Nigerian government. That is why I keep saying that the burden of the federal government is too much. In the exclusive list, you have 68 items, while in the concurrent list, you have 12 items. This is why, for me, I'm supporting Atiku Abubakar so that he can restructure Nigeria. He has been a serious advocate for it for over 20 years. Even when people are saying that, even when people in his region are against it. Now, someone was talking about PDP, called Atiku a unifier. To be sincere with you, PDP are not the one that called Atiku a unifier. It is Southeast leaders over the years, because then he was a custom officer. People, in fact, he got, how will I say it, the Igbos, since they indulge in exporting or importing of goods and services, as a custom officer, they met him. Even when he was the vice president, he made friends with the Southeast leaders. That's why someone like Peter Obi can say Atiku is a unifier. Don't forget Professor Ben Nwabweze said that Atiku is a unifier, even to the extent that he said he will not die until Atiku becomes the president. Remember 2019 when he lost, let me round up, sir.
Dos Santos,
let me round up. No, let me round up. I just want to round up. This is my last statement. Don't forget, in 2019, Professor Benoit Boise, a renowned constitutional lawyer, he said, in fact, he led a delegation, he was part of the lawyer that went to get Atiku's mandate in the Federal High Court. You can imagine an Igbo man saying that he will not die until Atiku becomes the president to a Fulani person. It has never happened since in the history of Nigeria. So it is the Igbos that called Atiku unifier, not PDP. I yield the mic. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Let me just round up. And Dos Santos, thank you. You said a whole lot of stuff about exclusive list and constitutional amendment and the whole rest So many yarns. I just want to remind you that you guys were in power for 16 years. You controlled the House, you controlled the Senate, and you did not push for all this constitutional amendment. You guys have failed Nigerians. That is the fact. That is the truth. Yes, that you did not fail them as APC have failed them. You guys failed Nigeria. Understand that and let there be peace in this house this morning. Sexy, please just do this in like 3 minutes. Omar, continue. Oh, Bishop, you're waving. What's good, Bishop? Please say something.
Bro, I just want to address the 208 people in the house. You see, when people go to carry Google document and come and start explaining in the space, it just makes me wonder. Makes me really wonder. We that are awake, we know.
Bishop, you did not hear anything you were saying, or we did not hear you.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, you're audible now.
Okay. I said we should not be dismayed by people who go to carry Google document to start explaining to us on spaces like this. We should not be dismayed because you're a swift talker does not mean what you are saying is correct. This same PDP man is someone who President Obasanjo said he stole money that can feed to feed 300 million people for 400 years. Can you imagine that kind of money? Atiku stole 300 money that can feed 300 people for 400 years. Imagine Obasanjo as a president. You understand? So let's really not dwell on the past, because these guys have really failed us. I cited this example before and I'll cite it again. You have a car, you have a mechanic. The car was faulty when you have one mechanic. It doesn't mean that mechanic was good. That mechanic was also bad. But then we now said, okay, you now say you're a mechanic and you can change everything. We gave you this car and the car stopped working. Through the two mechanics, both of them, their head not correct. So they should just even stay away. They should stay away. See, PDP now, they should be apologizing. The only job PDP should be doing now is apologizing to Nigerians. I remember before the primaries, Peter Obi supporters made a 1 million march to PDP and asked them to give us Peter Obi, but they refused. They paid deaf ears, and now he left. For your information, they can't even keep their name or his name off their mouth. So these guys have failed us, my brother. These guys have done worse. They have Atiku has stolen what he can stolen. We know the kind of house he's living here in Dubai. He doesn't go to Nigeria. He's here receiving treatment day and night. He's sick, very sick. As sick as the Kaka, the APC guy. Both are sick. You understand? This is a man that has been contesting since 1992. Till now, what are you looking for? Okay, thank you. That idea the 1992 idea you are looking for, share it with another person, let another person do it. You were made the vice president. What did you do? You can open your mouth to vomit that 90% of people in the north don't have access to internet, and you were a vice president. Bro, I beg, let me just leave it here so that I will not. Let me leave it here. Both of them are not just two sides of same coin. Both of them are two sides of a rusted coin. They are two sides of a bad coin. Both the article and itself. I supported article and it's because against Buhari because article was a lesser evil, and I supported article because of Obi. So my brother, these guys have failed us. They have really failed us. You understand? So let's just move on and move on from all this rubbish.
Let's go on. Sexy, are you there? Sexy, your hands have been up, bro. Abi, don't go sleep. Okay. Mustafa, you have something to say real quick before I bring up other speakers.
Yeah. So Dos Santos, I was going to be very, very polite like 2 hours ago when I posed a question to one of the moderators to ask you. So I was going to ask you in form of a question. No, like it was basically going to be a rhetorical question because I don't think you're going to find an answer to give me. And that was when you said that it was later in 2002 or so. Anyway, that the name of Boko Haram was converted to Boko Haram. I don't know why you got that fact. The terror group has never acknowledged that their name is Boko Haram. I don't know why you saw that. It seems someone was saying that some people are using Google Facts. Perhaps you are one of those people that are doing that. I'm sorry to say this. Yeah, maybe you need to like check your sources. Then the fact you mentioned about Oshimbajo also helping. Anyway, I didn't want to like try so hard to make reference to Buhari because I think I had passed the wrong message on this space. People thought I was here to defend Buhari. No, I'm not. I wouldn't want to do that. But of course, I'm just responding to you. You said that Oshimbajo was also helping Buhari to answer questions. Of course he did. Of course he did. What I was trying to say, the point I was trying to make about Peter Obi helping Atiku to answer questions is that him trying to help him answer questions meant that he was subscribing to whatever Atiku was saying. By the way, he was running as his deputy, so you can imagine what I meant. But anyway, like I said, these points that I'm making, I'm just directing them to you, right? Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. Thank you very much, Mustafa. James, do you have something to say real quick, please, in 1 minute?
Yeah, there is no way you can, connect two people together like that because ideologies are definitely different. Okay, so, and, I'm just going to address Dos Santos. Everything you've done here tonight, since I've been listening to you, is just trying to whitewash, just trying to differentiate between the PDP and the APC. But unfortunately, we've all seen that. Like, there has been no difference because the reason why the PDP were voted out of office in 2015 was because of bad performance, right? Like, people got tired. Like, I never support Buhari any day, right? Like, that's why, Saddam, I'm sorry, but I think we spend too much time on Mustafa. No disrespect to you, Mustafa. I think you're doing a great job from wherever you're coming from, right? I look at your profile, it's looking good. But, anybody that supports Buhari 2015, then even after 4 years of his terrible performance, and he still go ahead and vote in 2019, come on, man. I'm not going to spend all that time with you because what you try to do today, because you still support Buhari today. The same man that has destroyed the country, right? You still support him today. The same man that has destroyed the country, you will still rather see Tinubu go into, Aso Rock in 2023. That is so bad if you ever do that because, like, come on, man, you don't love the country. Today now, we're using all our revenues to pay debts. The country is in a mess, yo. So what are we talking about? Like, who supports APC till today? You want to compare PDP, APC, or then you bring it to, Peter Obi. It doesn't make sense. Dos Santos, all you've done tonight is just trying to give us details. We don't want those details, those history, how Boko Haram started. We don't care about that. We are in a fight for our lives, fight for our families. I'm here in Canada. I'm not even happy because, to be honest with you guys, I didn't do enough to bring all my family here, right? So, but I still have family back home, and I feel bad the way their lives turned out over. I've been here for 15 years, but I'm not happy the way things are back there right now. Imagine me after 15 years, I'm trying to bring people out of Nigeria. But then you come here, you want to tell us, oh, PDP is the same, it's better, it's okay, don't try to whitewash nothing tonight, Dos Santos. I've seen you before in different spaces, and you're doing it here tonight, man. Okay, I don't want to get too emotional. I got to cut it off. Thank you. Yo.
Thank you, my brother. Thank you very much. Thank you. That's the Nigeria that we're living in. Is unfortunate. That's why we do this, and that's why we're up here discussing and trying to put it in the minds of our people to understand that these people are the same. There's nothing Dos Santos will say here that will change my mind. I won't come out and say PDP or PDP and APC are different. They are the same to me. I know that they are. Yes, you say that the suffering was different. You can give me some things that Jonathan did, PDP did, and the rest. I understand facts, but the general thing is that APC and PDP are the same because they have served Nigerians bad governance over the years. No change, nothing. It has been from bad to worse. That's what it is. So you can say PDP have been bad, then APC are worse. So all of them is we shouldn't be in a battle in 2023 of choosing between bad and worse. No, it's better we try a new alternative that is even untested. I will even vote in Sowore. Aluta continue. Let's try Aluta continue. If P2P was on it, let's try Aluta continue before going back to APC or PDP. Please, let's move on. This marriage, we have to divorce ourselves from bad governance. As I keep saying, if APC don't kill Nigeria in 2023, Nigeria must kill APC. It is one way or the other. We have to either kill APC or APC will kill us. So when you see that it's a war, this is war Nigerians who are fighting by 2023, you understand how serious we are towards this. Thank you very much. Please, if you want to speak and your hands are up, I have to drop you up.
Yeah. Saddam, I'm not going to do this again, please. What you just said now, I was going to try to come up with that too, especially Dos Santos, for example, because if you look at it, okay, now you're trying to say, okay, we know APC is worse than PDP, but Dos Santos, would you rather go with the PDP right now, or you go with like a Peter Obi with the label that okay, now if anybody asks you, give governance or whatever administration, Peter Obi and Atiku with their antecedents, like 8 years for Peter Obi in his Anambra State, and every record from him, and Atiku that has tainted history with like the case in, there was a senator that went to jail in America with the Ali Button case when it comes to Atiku, right? And it has a big, like Obasanjo's book. He wrote a lot about, the criminality of Atiku. So do you want us to leave another APC now back to that same?
Please, don't stress your heart. Yeah. Don't stress your mind. Dos Santos is a PDP man.
No, I'm just trying to ask Dos Santos.
If you don't, you can listen.
Don't allow him to answer his question. It's free. Just freedom of speech. Free. I will answer you, sir. Thank you.
Okay, answer. He's in Canada like you.
My thing is...
James,
yeah, bro.
You guys can follow up yourselves. So if you meet in Canada, you can. If you beat him, he come Canada. He never vote for Canada with you. Yeah, nothing up to 15 years there. If you catch him for street, you beat him well. Beat him for body. He's allowed. Yeah, you understand?
Saddam.
You don't win that, but just beat him.
Saddam.
All I know they're violent. I know they're violent at all.
No, for some PDP boys, we go beat them, but maybe we get beat another body.
Right?
And tell you now.
James, let's stop beating the dead horse. Please, let's just move ahead. It's not useful.
Please, pay off. Josh, are you there?
Yes, I'm here.
Mayor, please, in 3 minutes, please, just submit.
Thank you, Saddam. Thank you, Omar, for holding down this space. I'm going to try to stick to the topic. That's my daughter, sorry. PDP and APC, two sides of the same coin. Actually, to me, they are one side of the same coin. A lot has been said about how easily these guys can actually move from one party to another. I'm not going to actually repeat that. The only thing I'm going to say is
APC hasn't actually shown in these 7 years now, they haven't shown any reason, they haven't given us reason to think that they're different from PDP. The same style of management, no production. They all relied on oil and borrowing. They can say, I've heard Buhari say so many times, oh yeah, we're the number one rice producers in Africa. But how has that translated into easing the suffering of the poor masses? The only people that have actually benefited from APC government, just like it was in PDP's government, is the elite, the rich. Poor people, they just keep getting poor, and I don't know why they can't even look at the poor masses and what they are going through. Look at everybody, let's say, maybe 80% of people campaigning for, like, say, Tinubu, is the elite. People that benefited from the APC government, people that did well in their various career because APC is in government, whether politically or, the lawyers or people in the oil sector, people benefiting from subsidy. So I don't like it when people come here and, try to, just like Don Santos, try to give us ancient history of how PDP is different. They are basically the same. They set up the same. They operate the same. The fight against corruption is basically the same. Buhari came into power with the mantra of, fighting corruption. How many politicians have been convicted? Even people that are so obvious, that they stole money. When they were in government, when they were in opposition, they could swear to Oracle, Allah, and the Bible that, Quran and the Bible that, Jonathan is corrupt. Since they came into power, what have they done about Jonathan? Jonathan visits Buhari like, he's his special advisor or something. They haven't really. The only people is just like Orisameto, people that didn't really matter. People like Dazuki that they kept in prison without trial for so many years. And these people are free now, roaming our streets. So what actually have, Buhari achieved? Some people will come and tell you, oh, he achieved, he has, some kind of... Yeah, achieve so many things in the infrastructure, but is that how you measure a good government? Anybody can borrow money. It's 40% of the borrowed money, use 60% to build infrastructure. You measure a good leader on what they're able to achieve. Any reckless person, even overseas like I am, can go to the bank and borrow money and use the money to buy maybe a Mercedes Benz and buy a house, and you think the person is doing well. No, there are people that are actually investing and making money, producing, and then using the money to achieve something. So, like I said, I haven't seen any difference between APC and PDP government, sorry. They are just one side of the same coin, for me. Thank you.
Thank you very much, my brother. Mayor of Pets. Okay, Olachi has something to say?
I was just going to say to Dos Santos, well, let me start by saying that name is actually kind of ironic because it means two things. And when you look at the topic of this space, your name is very ironic, Dos Santos, sorry to say. Well, no, actually, I'm not sorry to say it is ironic. I was going to ask, I'm sorry, like Saddam, if you would let me ask Dos Santos, because now that he actually said that now that he said he's in Canada, so both of us are in this Canada together. And I believe you said earlier that PDP's government, Abiy Atiku's government is capitalism. whereas the current government and Nigeria is experiencing is socialism. I want you to explain to me how Buhari's government right now is socialism. And I'm asking you this question because you're inside this Canada, we're both sharing this Canada. And explain to me how exactly Buhari's government, at the APC style, let me say APC because you said APC today, how APC style is socialism. Because I don't think you understand the meaning of that word, especially if you are residing in this igloo we call Canada together.
All right. Thank you, Olashi. Now, the thing is, I was not the one that said, I said it on this space because I've heard different APC shifting. Like, what's it called? Daniel Bwala. He has said it before that APC is a socialist party. He said it on Politics Today, even though me, I was against it. But if an insider said so, there's no way I will not believe them. The same way, me, I know that PDP is capitalism because I have people in government then when they were in power. So there's no way I cannot get any information. And it's even, in fact, every Nigerians, they know then that PDP involved in free market economy or something like that, Even Peter Obito have said it severally that PDP are free market economies. I think he said it during Kadera Ahmed interview. So that's it. Thank you.
First of all, you don't have to be an insider to know what kind of economy is being operated. Like, let's not be ridiculous. You don't have to be an insider. Nobody has to tell you. You can see with your two bare eyes. So, like, if you're telling me, like, APC people who are insiders have told you that makes no sense, fam. Nobody has to come out and tell you what kind of economy is what. And then as far as free market goes, if the free market you're talking about is articles selling off, buying buying public sector property or selling it off to his people, if that's the kind of free market operation you're talking about, then I don't think we want articles form of capitalism, because I really don't even get where you're going with free market economy, considering the things the article did in that his vice presidency, that his Oga can vouch for the corrupt things that he did. And let me just reiterate, you don't have to be an insider. So, like, dude, I'm not really sure even it's a lot of the things you have said now seem even more ignorant with your answer to that question.
Okay. Thank you. Dos Santos, please, let's move on, please. Bishop, want to say something?
All I want to say is, for now, they can have fun. Both PDP and APC. For now, they can have fun. But for PDP, I'm waiting for Wike to scatter the group. Once Wike release what he wants to release and everywhere scatter, we will know. And for APC, I posted something. Look at how they were beating the second to the last post on the Jumbotron. Look at how they were beating the Abuja Kaduna rail victims of kidnapping. Look at it. Just watch the video and look at it. If your conscience don't judge you, and you still carry your mouth to preach to Nubu that Buhari said he has come to continue what he started. If your heart cannot judge, if your head cannot reason well, I'm not insulting anybody, but look at it. If this were your mother or your look at how those women were crying, look at how they were beating those people. If you cannot have sense to know that Nigeria needs a better person or Nigeria needs change, then who am I? Thank you, I yield.
Thank you very much, my brother Bishop. Tumba, you have something to say? In 3 minutes, please. Thank you.
All right. Good morning, everyone. I've been on the space since yesterday. You guys are doing a good job keeping this space up till now. All right, straight to my submission on the topic: APC and PDP. Yeah, there are two sides of the same coin. They are one and the same thing. Everyone knows that. You'd only be lying to yourself if you think that they are not the same thing. Then I would like to address an issue Dr. Salisu because since I'm seeing him on the listener session, he raised on P2B's commissioner, where are they? I have first-hand information, and I love Saddam asked him to check the list of the commissioners. And if you go to that list, most of them, Professor Chief, and co, some are actually dead. Some are actually dead because I'm from Anambra State. There's a commissioner of his who owns hospital. I don't call his name. Died, I think, last year. And if you check out after they dropped their positions, all of them returned back to their private businesses, all wealthy people. Most of them, I would say, are quite old. So you don't expect them to come out on Twitter to start saying, I'm so commissioner of this and so. So, please, APC and the PDP are the same thing. They are exactly the same thing. They're the type of party which they share money, they do godfatherism, buy delegates. All these things are the same. That's why that Babada Ahmed said he left PDP because of all they wanted for him to pay for delegates and all those things. You see, they are the same thing. There is nobody with clear conscience and clear mindset that would say they are not. Then lastly, back at those that are supporting PDP or APC, something is fundamentally wrong with their line of thought, the way they process the information. Especially those that are doing that they are diehard fan. If you are in Nigeria right now, you know what is going on, how things are bad, insecurity. Before you could say, you want to go to Mina, Gurara Waterfall, or you want to go to so place around Nigeria. But now you cannot even attempt to do it, except you want to keep your hands on money. That's if you fall in the hands of kidnappers. Because you're either going to fall in the hands of kidnappers or you're going to fall in the hands of killers. And all these things are what is really affecting the economy. People can't move around. Money can't actually move around the right places. Farmers can't go to farm. Things like these are happening, and people are coming out to say that they want Tinubu to come and continue where his senior brother Buhari stopped. All these things are just heartbreaking. Most of these people are supporting the PDP APC because of money. When their principal, we know that when they release funds, some of them lose their sense of thought and their integrity. So after this election, something is going to be sure. We know who is who. During Buhari's time, I don't think people were much informed as of now. So anyone who is supporting these PDP, APC people, whether you guys win or lose, just know that your integrity is crushed. And when your integrity is taken off, it's taken off forever. You can't get it back. So just bear that in mind. I yield the mic.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Please, if you're up here and you want to speak and your hands are not up, I'll have to drop you to bring some other speakers up. We have to rush the space now. Mustafa, you want to say something? Say something real quick, please.
Yeah,
sorry.
It's going to be very quick. Yeah, it's just one point that I forgot to address. Someone, I can't remember who said it, but while I was speaking the first time, someone said that if the North knew its potentials, it wouldn't have asked to break away. I think that is a wrong assertion. There is no such thing as not wanting to break away. So I think that's a wrong assertion to make. Then secondly, I don't want it to be personal between me and Dos Santos, so it's okay. But thank you very much for the opportunity. Bye.
Well, bro, thank you very much. I sent you a lot of stuff on your DM, so take your time. Use today to digest it.
Hopefully, I'm going to do that.
The next time we speak, you'll be obedient and you testify of the good things that's coming to Nigeria very soon.
I have to scrutinize every candidate. I have to verify.
Go and verify. That is very, very essential. Go and verify, please. Those are telling you to join. Do you want to join the army, Mustafa?
Which army?
The 50 million army coming up, eating abado and cassava.
No, come on, please. No, you shouldn't even repeat that. You shouldn't even repeat that statement.
Okay, so please, you can go and verify all the candidates and what they have.
Our army are too precious to be fed with cassava. Come on.
That is what one of the.
Come on.
So, that's what if you're for that, good. If you're not for that, then you know where to be. So thank you very much, my brother. We'll be going back to back real quick.
God bless our troops.
I have to drop you for other people to speak. We have people that are lined up here. And if I bring you up, please, 3 minutes. Thank you very, very much. Bishop, you're waving.
Yes, so I just wanted to add, since it has been like this now, since radio is the only is the internet of the north, I want people to join me. If you know you want to join me, and let's buy at least 1,000 radios and send to the north, please come to my DM or call me out on the tweets. Let's work on that project. I myself, I'll be contributing. At least I'll buy like 10 or 15 radios who can send to the north so that we can sensitize our people and let them know the evil this present government have done and the more evil the past government have done. So we have to sensitize them. We have to come out and show our solidarity to this new movement. Okay, so if you want to be part of that movement, please just DM me, say hi to me, or DM me or follow me, and then make a tweet, call me out, tag me on the tweets, and let's do this together. So buying 1 million radio, we're going to after we bought it, we're going to post it so that you guys will see the work we are doing. We're going to take it to Kano, Katsina, Kaduna, Jos, Jigawa, Yobe, Nasarawa. We're going to take it everywhere. Thank you very much, Saddam, for giving me the time once more. I appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you very much, my brother. Yeah, okay. What is this guy's name? I don't know. Demean. Please, 3 minutes. If I say 3 seconds, man, I'm tired. We'll soon be closing this place, man.
Okay.
Thank you.
Everyone. Can you hear me?
You're audible, please, 3 minutes.
Okay, so I will just speak to the topic APC and PDP, two sides of the same coin. I totally agree because if you are on the APC side and then maybe PDP is in power and then you are looking for safety, just simply cross over. It's not like a bridge. It's not so far. It's just like stepping out of a door and then entering the other room. It's just that near. There's no ideological difference between the APC and the PDP. The PDP, if they enter power, they will still loot. They will still be nepotistic. The fact that the PDP was not sensitive enough to not give Atiku Abubakar their ticket, I think that's a very downside because I don't understand why they want a northern Fulani man to take over from a northern Fulani man after 8 years of northern Fulani Muslim rule. So I think the APC, I hate talking about the APC. They are a monumental failure, especially in terms of security, which is the major social contract between a government and her citizens. The APC, they have not done anything tangible. In fact, the security situation, maybe during PDP time, it was just in the northeast, and then this APC tenure, I think it has gone to every region of the country. So I cannot really just, had it been Peter Obi did not leave the PDP, had it been maybe Peter Obi was not on the ballot, they will now start choosing which side of the coin is more good or which side of the coin is going to favor us. And then I don't really like corn or cassava, so maybe I would have just said, okay, PDP, just come and help us to leave this evil APC era. But at the moment, when I see APC and PDP, it's just like, okay, one is offering you
Please round up, my brother.
Okay. I'll just round up now. The APC and PDP, they are offering me like more of the same thing. If PDP wins, it will still be the same status quo. Like you can imagine the kind of person PDP gave their vice presidential ticket, Okowa. If you go to Delta State and just go and ask Delta people, how has Okowa treated you? Go and ask the civil servants, go and ask the teachers. You will know that these people are just useless people. PDP has destroyed Delta. Delta State, the kind of allocation we receive in Delta State is not what we are supposed to be seeing now. So I cannot vote for PDP when OB is on the ballot. So that's just my contribution. Thank you.
All right, thank you very much, my brother. Prince, please 3 minutes.
Hello, good morning. Good morning, Mr. Bon.
Yeah, good morning, my brother.
Two sides, APC, PDP. Well, we all know that because even I will blame PDP more on this case. We shouldn't have been in this mess if PDP have done the right thing. And PDP people that always coming out, we did this, we did that. PDP has like more upper hand to change Nigerian to a better place. But they didn't. Look, all these people that they are going home, all these senates, all these reds that they're going home with big bags now. It's PDP regime that caused everything. Just because of selfish interest, Obasanjo wants the third term. They have to raise everything up for them. And even this same particular article, when he was in APC, he came out openly, say PDP is the problem of this country. And I'm still standing on that. He came out on open TV, said PDP is the problem of this country. So why is it going back to PDP and saying, no, PDP can do it now? All these people, they are just same thing. Like, I don't know why we are keep even falling into their hands. By some people, because now everybody's eyes are open. Because they will be here today and talk bad about the other party. And tomorrow you will see them at the other party talking bad about the place they left. So it's just same thing, nothing different between all those people. They're just keeping playing on the same way they are doing from the beginning. And we can't continue like this. We have been praying that we want a change, and God has answered our prayer. We just have to focus more and keep campaigning, doing what we are doing. And thank God they always show us our loopholes, like, oh, they are not on doing this, and we are doing it. So which I know we can get it right. And what I'm afraid of now, I keep saying this. A lot of people, we of us that we are not in Nigeria, we can say, okay, we are not in Nigeria. What we saw in Sri Lanka is just like a minor of what is going like in Nigeria if you don't make it right in 2023. Because Nigeria is already in the close edge to destroy everything. And all these people really don't care because in a minute, even if Atiku lost this election, he's coming back to Dubai to come and enjoy his life. He always spend his life here. So he don't care. Tinubu, he has his money already. He just wants the title Mr. President, nothing else. So this is about us. And I pray we make it right because if we don't make it right, I'm not sure we're going to have a nation again. Nothing like Nigeria again.
Thank you.
I just pray we make it right.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you. Please, if your hands are not up, I'm dropping you. We have more speakers to speak. Let us wrap. We're wrapping up the space in the next few minutes. So let us do this 2 minutes. If you come up, you say your mind in 2 minutes. And if you come in 2 minutes, Darren, please, your hands are up. So please, in 2 minutes, just, you've spoken before, so I shouldn't give you 1 minute, sir, but 2 minutes is enough. Darren, let's go.
I think you should just tell me that you don't like me.
I love you now. I love you now.
No. You don't. I mean, I'm going to take anything away from this space. If I'm going to take anything away from Saddam's space, violent space, I know now. Maybe I had doubts before, but now it's been clarified.
In violent space, you don't have to show love.
Saddam does not like me. No, I'm moving on. Now that I know what to do with the information. Child, don't forget, if I'm hosting you today, everybody can show power in their own kingdom. All right. Good morning, everybody. Good morning, Saddam. With a pinch of salt. Good morning, Oma. I was just very surprised when I woke up that you posted on this space, but great. Well, I agree with everybody that APC and PDP are the same thing. They're just two different sides of the same coin. But I think that maybe one side of the coin is maybe 6.5, and the other side is exactly 6. I was on a space yesterday that was supposedly hosted by a neutral, but people that tend to agree with his views happen to be mostly APC supporters, and they were basically calling for. We already know that the press in Nigeria is gagged. They were talking about this People Gazette, the raid on People Gazette, and they were practically calling that all the media houses should be treated as such, that the state should completely capture the press. Those people, they scare me. From the top to the bottom, they have very similar views in some way to them. So where people, if you listen down to the nitty-gritty of it, they are very scary people. When you listen to PDP supporters, even from the top too, you will hear some things, but you will not hear some other things. But you see APC people, I think there's a certain thing that probably needs to be removed from your humanity before you join that party. And I'm not even trying to denigrate them. I'm just saying that the consistency of how they think alike and how they push towards the same goal, and somehow they feel like to help the people they have to subvert their will, is quite scary. So while I agree that there are two sides of the same coin, I just think one side is just a trifle bit more dangerous than the other. These other ones, they sort of curtail each other, kind of. They curtail each other. But these other ones, no, and it's a bit dangerous.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. Obi Mark, please.
Yes.
Thank you.
Yes, good morning, everyone. Saddam, I know what I do you. Since yesterday, that day here, no matter.
If you see the list, if I show you people yesterday requests, people are still requesting, and please, it's not easy for me.
No, I will speak to the 2 minutes. Now, APC and PDP. Let me use a different analogy. When you have a wicked friend who can kill you and backstab you, I have another wicked and clueless friend who would not even know when they have connived with your enemy to kill you. You don't go near any of them. So APC, they are clueless, they are wicked. PDP, wicked, and they can do anything just to remain wicked. So they are no-go area. Anyone in their right senses can never be on their side. In fact, if they happen to Nigeria again, Sri Lanka will be learning from what will happen to Nigeria. In fact, we'll be talking about something worse than Libya. How can anyone be telling me that APC or PDP can still give us anything? We've given them their chance. The way forward is to give the minorities the opportunity, which we have found in the Labour Party. So what are we now thinking? Please, all we have to be talking about now is how to make use of the remaining 8 days to get our people to register for their PVCs. In my small corner, I have my laptop, and anybody around me struggling, especially the elderly ones, I put them through. I have created several Gmails for them, registered them, and practically organized a vehicle that takes them to nearest INEC office to activate finish the last phase of it. So that's what we should talk about, not thinking of whether APC or PDP. No, if you don't want to join the moving train, let's leave them. By the time they realize it, we have already got to our destination. So with this, I want to use the mic by saying that we are doing well. We are doing well. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Obi Mark. I have to keep you for the last. You are the last speaker today. You have tried. You have spent the last 12 hours on this space doing these things. And, sorry, please, let's go one more person.
FL, you have been here too. Fikayo Flames. You did not raise your hand up, so that's why. I think please, just 1 minute, please. Let's end this. Fikayo, please, let's go. Fikayo, unmute your mic.
Okay. Good morning, everybody. Yeah, I wouldn't say you don't call APC and PDP two sides of the coin. It's two different parties, two different ideology. APC is an occult group. PDP, I'm not saying PDP has not fucked up in the time past, but sometimes there's time for another chance. I respect Labour Party for their movement, and we say this thing maybe. We say Peter Obi is part of PDP before he left. He was a running mate under PDP in 2019 and all those things. But if you look at the way things are and compare PDP and APC on different metrics, I feel that PDP has shown that they are better than APC in all ramifications. We might have said that PDP were meant to do some things that they didn't do for the 16 years they were in office. But I don't know if they are opportune to get to the office again. I hope they could correct some things that they didn't do right.
My brother, there's no opportunity here for PDP. Please, we're not talking about opportunity here.
Hello. Sometimes we tend to. I would like to ask these people one question. And because we cannot talk about this party and not talk about the upcoming presidential election, we can always ask Peter Obi himself, why did he accept to be running mate to a certain person in 2019? Did he believe in the person's capacity? Did he believe in what he can do and all those things? See, Aso Rock is not a good.
Let me just land.
Good luck, Jonathan. As good man, he wanted to do something. Goodluck Jonathan was one of the best presidents we could have, but he does not understand the politicking that has to come with Aso Rock. Aso Rock need somebody that knows the politicking game.
We have had them say by we don't want them again. We want a neutral person now.
Please. I beg, don't interrupt. Please don't interject anybody. Let him land. Please continue.
Aso Rock needs somebody that can play this politicking game. Apart from developmental and all those things, the game swallowed Jonathan. That's why he messed up. He would have been the president we have. And
thank you, my brother. Thank you. Not to sound like a broken record, I have said this before. I don't think you're on the space when I said this. I will say this again. Jonathan never in his life. Dos Santos was here and he concurred with what I said. Jonathan never in his life envisaged that he would be a president. He never planned for it. He never saw himself. He never worked for it. It was served to him on the platter of gold. Jonathan never saw himself even being from deputy governor. That's how he got to be the governor. From deputy president, he got on a platter. So please, it's not by saying Aso Rock have politics, Aso Rock. No. If you're not ready to serve, you don't prepare to serve, you go up there and mess up. Peter has served as the governor of the hardest state in Nigeria. I dare say it. When Peter became the governor of Anambra State was the worst state in Nigeria on all metrics. And he changed it. And he's offering himself to serve again because he is ready to serve. Jonathan was not ready to serve. And he did well. He tried in some places. If you can go there, I can name a lot of stuff and say, Jonathan did this, yes. And he was not ready to serve. Then you have someone that is ready to serve and you tell me that Aso Rock is a place of politics. Please, Nigerians are part of that politics. It's time to pursue PDP and APC out. As I always say, if we don't kill APC in 2023, APC will kill Nigerians. Thank you very much to everybody that has been on this place with us. This is our 12th hour. We've spent 12 hours and I wish I could go on more, but man needs to sleep. I do this every Saturday. We come up here with a new topic. We'll come up with a new space next week Saturday. Please, if you're not following the handle, you can follow the handle. We'll be having this every Saturday. I am sure I gave almost everybody a chance to speak. For those that could not speak, please bear with me. A brother needs to sleep. Thank you to my co-host Omar. Thank you, Bishop. Thank you to my brothers from PDP and APC that came here. Hopefully, I believe that before 2023 elections, you guys will become obedient and you do the Lord's work by voting for the right place, which is Labour. Let our labor not be in vain. Thank you very much, everybody that stayed with us all these hours. I see you guys. God bless you all. See you again, same time, 7 p.m. next week, Saturday. God bless you all.